helping you live first, one step at a time. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Explore more and spend less at Capital RV. This month only, shop thousands of RVs under $29,999. But there's more. Browse hundreds of RVs priced at dealer cost exclusively for this event. But you must act fast. Once these deals are gone, they're gone for good. Experience the Capital RV difference. Join our thousands of satisfied customers. Unbeatable views at unbeatable prices begin at Capital RV. Discounts and finance offers subject to availability. Terms and conditions apply with approved credit. See dealer for details.
We're from North Dakota, where 12,000 workers bring electricity to 2 million customers and provide over $5 billion in economic activity to the state, while reclaiming 22,000 acres of land. This is coal country.
Visit LakeNight.com to learn more.
Don't miss our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, and you're having a good time.
Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio, let's go!
Get tickets now at AXS.com.
This weather update is brought to you by River City Sports. At River City Sports, award-winning service isn't just a promise, it's our identity. For award-winning service, see us at River City Sports.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Mostly sunny and pleasant this afternoon. High for the rest of the day, 80. Then mainly clear skies tonight with a low of 59. Breezy and pleasant tomorrow with a mix of clouds and sunshine. High on Tuesday, 85. Then we'll have a couple of showers Wednesday morning. Otherwise, a humid day with more clouds and sunshine and a high of 79. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Holly Holdren.
Right now it is 60.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the Brighter Future Alliance, working to keep North Dakota a great place to live, work, and raise a family.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the bear brothers fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets rang down the monsters gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
KFYR 550 brings you the information you need to know and the newsmakers at the center of the stories. This is Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
Gee whiz, you don't look a thing like Michael Bell.
You might be a little surprised. I don't think Michael's in today, is he?
No, he's not.
Clay Peterson here, filling in for Michael Bell on Dakota Mornings. I appreciate that. He let us and asked us to. Jamie will be joining you guys on Friday, subbing in, being I guess Michael took a break for about a week or so. It's on vacation.
Yeah.
I understand. So anyway, I'm going to start this off, Todd, like we start every single show that we do with the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So there, just like a regular Guns and 701 show. So today, what we have on tap for you is Mr. Scott Bachmeier from Dakota Prairie Outdoors. He's joining us in the first hour, and Wayne Muth. Wayne's a great guy. He's a Pope and Young official measuring guy, and he's also a producer of a television show that we'll talk about in the second hour. But I believe we have Scott with us, don't we?
We do.
No, I'm here.
You're there.
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning,
gentlemen.
Scott. How you doing today?
Oh, it's a beautiful day here in the Badlands.
Yeah, it was foggy, very foggy on my drive up here today. I don't know if you guys got any of that, and very, very wet and damp. So I guess that's a good thing, but I don't know what you got going up there, but we are very blessed this year for moisture.
I would not say that this area of the Badlands is wet and damp at all. No, that's not even close here. We got a little moisture this, I guess last week a little bit, but it's still dry, and we're just keeping our eyes out for any kind of grass fires, and we've been all the rural fire departments across the state, man, across the listening area. Thanks for all the volunteer firefighters out there. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, absolutely. You can't do it without them. That's for sure. They are a lot of times, our little one in Morristown, we're there long before some of the bigger departments get around, and you just can't do it without those volunteer fire departments. Yeah. I feel the same way. So, I was coming up here and I heard your deal on 550 this morning about protect the harvest. I thought, you know what? Let's talk about them guys a little bit and what they're doing, because I thought that was an interesting segment you had.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of an important one too here, but there's a lot of different organizations across the world, I guess, that are anti-agriculture, and this protect the harvest is kind of trying to help fight against that a little bit and inform people the right way.
Yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with them, and they get involved. They're not just involved in, I suppose a lot of people think it's farming only. No, they're all about your property rights, hunting. It's all intertwined, and I guess that's kind of why I thought it was great, because without private property land, rights and private property landowners, there's nothing for hunting really, because the amount of public land in North Dakota, or as I call government owned, held in taxpayer trust, basically. Let's think about it. There's just not enough of that to go around when it comes to the hunting and fishing. So you need to have the cooperation. And I think these guys cover it all. Just the little bit I've read about them and dealt with them a little bit when I was still working with the NRA. We did some work with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, when it comes to education and information, they definitely are on the top side of it. And if you want more information, of course, you just go to their website. And that's where a lot of people, if they have questions, I'm like, direct them right to that website, and it helps out a little bit, I guess. You still got to talk to some of those urban area people a little bit more, but
right,
they're getting their information from God knows where, So
yeah, it's hard to say where they're finding it. They could be using one of the search engines I don't care for, and then what kind of search results you're going to get out of that. And I protect the harvest. I really like them because I know they're out there working against the anti-hunters. They're out there working against those anti-ag groups. I don't think people realize just how bad this is getting, because we live in North Dakota, and then of course our surrounding neighbors, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, and you just don't see it like you do in other places. But trust me, they're avid, they're well-funded, and they mean business. They never give up. They keep fighting. When they lose a battle, they just come back in another form.
And they have so much money,
Tons.
Somebody was, this was years ago. Todd would probably remember this 2 years ago when I was more full-time on KFYR there doing the afternoon program, and brought that one back more local. I was discussing, that was what, 14, 15 years ago already, 16 years ago, maybe by this time. And everybody told me I was a conspiracy theorist, because I was saying that we have these anti-ag people that are moving from different states into North Dakota, and they're getting their claws in, and they're making it. Everybody thought, oh, you're worrying about nothing, Scott. You're worrying about nothing. And then all of a sudden, those Measure 5s started popping up. And right now, the same thing. And people call me conspiracy theorist about this too.
Hey, those people have been right the last 3 or 4 years with COVID stuff. So I don't think conspiracy theorist is as far-fetched as it used to be.
Yeah, probably not. But, even to this day, I know that there's groups of people in North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana even, that are non-hunters, that are against hunting, and they put their name into the lottery for deer tags and everything else, just so there's less tags for the real hunters to get.
Oh, man.
And people they're like, oh, I don't know. And then I had this one guy come up to me here just a little bit ago in a couple of weeks, and they said, we never thought of it that way, but he said, I actually know he said his family members are anti-hunters, against everything hunting, and they put in just so there's one less tag if they get drawn for those other people to go hunt with.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably not a big percentage right now by any means, but you got to think that's what these people do. They're extremists that go to that point to do that, and they're out there, and they're local here. They're around our area.
Oh, absolutely. Well, when I was running a coyote hunt, I think it was the third or fourth one I did down in the Morristown area. The I'm not even going to mention it. They're the anti-coyote hunting group out of Fargo. I think everyone knows who they are. They actually called, and they were all upset, and they were going to come down and protest. And I was like, really? From Fargo? I mean, this is how many years ago? Probably 15 or better. I said, well, tell you what, we're out here in the middle of the reservation. We're well armed. We're going to be having a good time. I said, why don't you come on out? I said, I'll even give you directions. And I said, you can go ahead and talk to all of our teams and see what they think about your ideas and your protest. And they never showed up. Yeah. I can't imagine why.
Well, they were against the high school and junior high rodeo finals.
Yes.
They were doing the big thing. There was a big plan of people coming, and they were going to protest in Bowman, North Dakota, the state finals. And I got a phone call, and everybody's asking, what should we do? What should we do? I'm like, absolutely nothing. Hold your rodeo.
Do those people know that nobody's forced to participate in those?
I know, but they're against these animals and being used for sport and recreation. And, they're so crazy. They wanted to change up some things. And I'm like, just do you run the rodeo like you always have.
Yes.
We will take care of this. The people will take care of this. And they didn't show up either, because they were just big talk. They emails, and we're going to sue you and do all this. And I'm like, just hold your rodeo like you always have. Don't worry about it. And they did, and everything was fine. Yeah. But that's the kind of groups that we have to deal with besides trying to make a living out here on the ranch. We got to worry about those type of people too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I hear the music coming, so I guess we're going to be going into a break. On the other side, we're going to maybe finish a little bit up on that, and then I think we're going to talk about some North Dakota hunting seasons. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right.
Unless that group calls in, and
then we'll put them live. We'll have some fun.
I was going to say we'll have them live.
All right. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Be right back.
KFYR 550 with Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. More coming up. Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation, advancing the possibilities.
It's about tradition, values, and family ties. Pucklet Chevrolet's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority, and that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues, like savings up to $13,960 on select new 24 Chevy Silverado 1500s. We're Pucklet Chevrolet in Bismarck. Chevy, together let's drive.
Plus tax, title, license, and fees. See dealer for details. Ends 9/3/24.
There's a misconception that in order to be world class, you need to perform on the world stage. But sometimes being the best just means doing things the right way, right where you are, because it's the right thing to do. We believe you deserve world-class healthcare no matter where in the world you live, because every patient, everywhere, means the world to us. Here for all, here for good. Sanford Health.
Save big money on pressure-treated lumber for your outdoor project at Menards. Menards has the best in-stock selection of AC2 pressure-treated lumber, decking, and fencing. all easy to load in our drive-through lumberyard. Choose from our huge inventory and build your project to last. Plus, you can get free estimates fast with our fence and deck design programs in-store or online at menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
The rugged, reliable, affordable Workmaster compact tractor is now available in 25 horsepower. Northern Region New Holland Dealers introduces the Workmaster 25 from New Holland. It's made to last with a big tractor backbone, heavy-duty internal components, and a fuel-saving 3-cylinder engine. You enjoy comfortable seating, great visibility, and best of all, a price that's easy on the wallet. Learn more about the Workmaster 25 today at Northern Region New Holland Dealers.
Hi, I'm Jeff Simon with the Western Dakota Energy Association. Our job is to look out for the economic and social interests of cities, counties, and school districts in the energy-producing region of our state, the oil, gas, and coal counties. We work closely with North Dakota's elected leaders to promote good roads, good schools, and a strong business climate. We keep our members informed with a weekly newsletter and through social media on Facebook and LinkedIn. Learn more about the Western Dakota Energy Association at ndenergy.org.
The mission of the Brighter Future Alliance is to advance the cause of freedom and free enterprise in this great state. More than ever before, we need to grow and diversify our economy, create a world-class workforce, and build the infrastructure needed to foster a bigger, bolder North Dakota economy. Please join the Brighter Future Alliance, and together we can keep North Dakota a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Learn more at brighterfuturealliance.org.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the University of Mary, faithfully Christian, joyfully Catholic, and grateful Benedictine. Back to Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
Oh, great. Now you're going to make me play all these songs that are, hit me with your best shot.
Nice.
Really?
Nice.
How cliche.
It's kind of like Janie's Got a Gun. It's actually kind of an anti-gun song. But
I know.
But it has
This is it. It was one of those songs he wanted, and I'm like, yeah, you do know what the song's about, right?
Yeah, we only played that one segment.
I mean, we can rewrite the verses, and Janie's got a gun and make it a good thing because she's learning how to use it properly. And
no, we couldn't rewrite it that JD has a gun. I think Jamie will appreciate.
Well, you get your band ready, bring them in, we'll get it recorded, we'll get it down.
There we go.
That's nice. Love it.
All right, we're back, guys. If you want to call in, the number is 701-258-0550. Again, 701-258-0550. Call in, and we'll talk about anything. And if you want to disagree with Mayor Scott or Todd, we really, really welcome that. Go ahead and give us your best shot.
Bring it. Yeah, hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
Yeah, we were talking about the anti-hunting groups, the anti-ag group. I remember when they were set up at the stock show in Rapid City one year, and I couldn't believe it. And I always noticed that it's the same. What do you want to say? The same type of person that's always out there, and they're always young. So I guess maybe they got, as Rush used to say, minds full of mush. I don't know, but I couldn't resist, Scott. I had to walk over there and talk to him. And I know my wife, she's like, oh no, now what's going to go on? But I'm telling you, I never saw them there after that. And I've been going there for many, many years, and I have not seen them protesting that rodeo since. I know I wasn't the only one. I don't think they had a very welcoming, embrace from the people attending. Yeah. So yeah, they're everywhere.
I did see them this year. They actually had a booth.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah, it's actually ingenious, for the Black Hills Stock Show organizers. They're like, if you're going to be here, it's required that you purchase a booth.
Yeah.
So they made money off of them, and nobody ever stopped there. It was always empty. The people were just sitting there in their chairs, but at least they made some money off of them, I guess.
Yeah. Where were that? I must have missed that. They must have been upstairs.
It was in one of the upstairs corners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put them in the corner. Perfect. Yeah, they are relentless. They never stop. And then getting back to the licenses, I can remember when that was starting out in California. That's kind of where I first heard about it, with the antis buying up the licenses so that basically there was a smaller pool. And it made a big effect out there. It had a huge effect as far as other people getting those licenses to actually do what they needed. And then it was affecting, to the point it was affecting their game management. I mean, that's what that's about, supposedly. you know, you want to have your game managed. You put out so many licenses so that you can keep the herd in check. And they didn't care. They don't want anybody hunting anywhere for any reason.
Yeah, that's too bad. You know, it's so important. The amount of money that anglers and hunters bring in to help with the conservation side of things is just billions of dollars, right? And probably millions in North Dakota, but across the country, it's just billions of dollars. And we're the ones that are taking the game and utilizing the game, but we're also spending that money back in the conservation side of things too. And I don't see them, you know, their version of conservation is like, you know, Montana, it started out as like the Buffalo Commons. I think now they call it the Prairie Reserve or something. They just purchased another huge tract of land from a private landowner. I understand if you're a private landowner and you want to make the most out of your money so you can retire. I completely understand that. It's unfortunate that these guys from the American Prairie Reserve or whatever they call themselves now has such deep pockets.
They do.
But they're I think up in that Jordan area, they bought that big another what? I think it was like 80,000 plus acre ranch or something like that. Now that's off the books for hunting and grazing, you know. And but also it's interesting. I pick on Montana a little bit about this because there's a lot of people that are moving to Montana, especially now after watching this Yellowstone series or whatever. It's drawing more, you know, urban people out that way. And Billings went all Democrat in Billings area. Missoula, you know,
Kalispell,
Billings, Kalispell, all those areas, right? Lewistown, that's becoming a big fancy area. And that's what they want to see, you know. But there's a neat website. It's called mtfireinfo.org. I go and watch it. It's like, why is it so smoky at the ranch all the time, right? And it shows you how many fires in the last 24 hours are starting in Montana.
Wow.
And a lot of these could have been prevented if they would have either logged it or grazed it.
Yep.
And their reasoning behind conservation is don't do anything with it, just leave it go. And all it does is produce more fuel for the fire, and then the fire comes and wipes everything out.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't manage that, if you don't remove the fuel, which is brush, trees, whatever it is, you're going to have a bigger problem. I just pulled that up right now. And holy cow, I didn't realize there's that many fires going on in Montana right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, the current fire information. And then these are only fires that are over 100 acres. So like today, there's 10 brand new fires in the last 24 hours. And if you look down in the south or the southwest side of the state of North Dakota on that map, there's some that are pretty darn close to me.
I see that.
So again, big thanks to rural fire departments because they're out there working on a lot of these. But it's you know, and of course Montana made this website because everybody's wondering where all the smoke is coming from, and there's a lot of fires out there right now. So.
Yeah, the map's just dotted with, like you said, you got one really close. Looks like it's probably up in maybe right up there along the line. Possibly right up there by where the interstate runs across there. It looks like to me.
Yeah, pretty close to that area. Yeah, you bet.
Wow. Yeah, we need one of them for the Dakotas, and we can know where our fires are.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes,
it would be really nice if they would do something, and maybe they do. I haven't been able to find it for North or South Dakota yet.
No,
but. This map here is, I don't know who's in charge of it, but it's a pretty neat map to see and keep up to date what's going on. But you want to know why it's so smoky. And then, of course, Canada's on fire up there, too, quite a bit. So
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking at that. The Woodson-Fallon fire, I think is what they call it. And now that's 188 acres right now. It doesn't even say if it's contained. So, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, there's some big ones that, you know, the Grouse Fire, 4,000 acres there, and that's only 10% contained. And there's quite a few out that way. But
4,157 acres now just updated. So, absolutely.
Grazing is a great thing. Farming is a great thing. It's a great way to take care of the property. Yeah.
I can tell you this, just on you're a producer, I'm a producer. You've been involved probably longer than I have, but I look at what we do at our place. It's a good balance. I mean, I don't want to take it down to where there's nothing and there looks like a golf course out in the pasture. That's not good either. But you have to have that balance where you're taking off them grasses. And if anyone doesn't know it, in the spring, you've got some cooler, what they call spring grasses. And in the later fall, you got other grasses. It's good to take that all off. And it's a great balance. Grazing is a good thing, not bad. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, boy, we're flying by. We're at the bottom of the hour, I believe, here. So we're going to take our next long break, Scott. You know how this works. And then we'll come back and maybe talk some deer season and maybe other hunting seasons.
Sounds good.
All right.
They're still waiting for that P to call or whoever to
they're just not calling
take us on. And yeah, bring it.
KFYR 550 with Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. More coming up.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Vice President Harris expected to reveal more of her economic policy proposals this week.
The first one is going to talk about how consumer prices affect all of us, the consumer, what we pay. The other is the rate of increase businesses pay to make the stuff that we buy. Now, we know that jobs are already slowing. Overall, prices are up 19% since President Biden and Vice President Harris started instituting their policies.
Edward Lawrence of Fox Business Network explaining the reports coming out from the government this week. Fox News confirming President Biden, former Presidents Obama and Clinton, and 2016 Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton will speak at next week's Democratic National Convention in Chicago. And the bipartisan House task force probing the July 13th assassination attempt on Donald Trump officially begins its investigation with several letters. America's listening to Fox News.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by Lignite Energy Council, fueling the future, powering progress.
Better Roofing and Contracting, whether it's a hole in the roof or a whole new roof.
Hi, this is Tyler with Better Roofing and Contracting. When a hailstorm hits your area, that very first night or the very next day, do not answer your front door to somebody knocking at your door. Those guys are what we call storm chasers. They actually physically watch the storms develop and they run to certain areas, and they're there within hours of the hailstorm damaging your home. Be patient, call your agent. Who do they recommend? Get more information versus just panicking and hiring the first guy that comes to your door and says your roof is damaged. When you have an issue, they don't come back. They're not here when you need them because you need them today. We're here today. One thing you get with Better Roofing, fixing your hail damage, is a workmanship warranty.
Better Roofing and Contracting, serving Central North Dakota. Online at betterroofingandcontracting.com.
Hi, this is Troy Orr with Orr Auctioneers. Once again, it's fall consignment auction time at the Orr Auction Center. This auction will take place the first week in September, so now's the time to bring your farm equipment and miscellaneous items to our location just 4.5 miles south of Jamestown for our large fall farm equipment consignment auction. This has been a successful auction in the past, and this year's auction will be no exception. Today is the day. Give us a call at 952-3351 or stop by. Our team is ready to assist you 4.5 miles south of Jamestown at bidor.com.
The 5th annual Golden Valley Shootout fires back into town August 17th and 18th in Golden Valley, North Dakota. Join us Saturday for the best little show in North Dakota, featuring top bull riders from the Badlands Pro Bowls Tour. Then come on back for Sunday's Wayne Herman Invitational, matching the PRCA's top bareback and saddle bronc riders against the rankest bucking horses Pro Rodeo has to offer. Tickets available at the door, and follow on Facebook for more information. The Golden Valley Shootout, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust, August 17th and 18th.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. And as your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we know our community isn't just important, it's everything. Which is why we're grateful for your trust to provide the energy you need every day. Because for us, there's nothing more important than giving you the power to power on.
North Dakota's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, the power of human connections.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The iHeart Storm Desk keeps you up to date when the weather's threatening. Brought to you by Better Roofing and Contracting. Whether you have a hole in your roof or need a whole new roof, call Better Roofing and Contracting. 701-751-ROOF.
Your KFYR Farm Field Forecast is brought to you by Northwest Tire, General Equipment and Supplies, Poland Steel of Jamestown, and Dakota Legacy Initiative.
Good morning. Here is your AccuWeather Farm Field forecast for today. Partly sunny skies, a high today 80. Winds will be from the northeast with a wind speed at 5 miles per hour. Humidity at 90%. Dew point at 58 degrees. Soil temperature at 65. Sunrise at 6:38 a.m. The sunset 8:57 p.m. That's your Farm Field forecast. I'm Steve Williams for AccuWeather.
Right now it is 60.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by Sanford Health. You deserve exceptional health care no matter where you live. That's why Sanford Health is dedicated to providing quality care wherever your home may be. Here for all, here for good. Sanford Health. Back to Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
JB's got a gun.
Oh, man. You would play it. JD has a 9.
I'm telling you, we could rewrite the verses to make it our song.
There you go. We could.
It's not like Aerosmith's going to come sing it anymore. Oh, too soon.
I'd take a Tom Petty song and do it. He's gone. Anyway. Oh, wow.
Yeah, what's he going to say about it?
Todd, I might wear a cowboy hat, but I guarantee you, I got a variety of music in my background. So we're back here on Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. Obviously, I'm not Michael Bell, Clay Peterson, filling in for him. You want to call in 701-258-05550. And I do believe we have a caller waiting, and I think this is for Scott.
1-800-228-0550. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, here, caller. It's my caller call.
Good morning.
Are you on mute? There we go.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yep, we're
on.
Morning. You're on.
This is Mike from the Northwest Angle.
Good to hear from you, Mike. I hear you have a question for Scott.
Well, Scott, I'm no PhD in history, but I remember Teddy Roosevelt walk softly, carry a big stick. I do believe that if Trump was president, China wouldn't be rattling their sabers, Hamas wouldn't be rattling their sabers, and Russia wouldn't have rattled their sabers. I do believe him when he said there wouldn't have been any wars on my watch because he carried a big stick. What's your thought on that? And I'll turn off and get on the radio.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate the call. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I agree with you too. You know, a lot of people said that Trump was what they call him now, bully. You know, he's a big bully. I don't like that word. He was a businessman that knew how to get things done. And when you carry that big stick, especially as the leader of the free world, you need to be able to stand behind it. And I do agree. I think that Russia and China and all those different countries would have thought differently if there would have been somebody different in office, especially if Trump was in there. Yeah.
Oh,
Clay, what do you
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's peace through strength. And that's what Trump projected. Strength. He'd go meet these people. I mean, he flew over to North Korea and I had a little discussion over there. I'd have loved to have been a mouse in that room. But you realize we did not getting into any new conflicts whatsoever under Trump. And I don't think that had really happened ever. It seems like every president had something that went on. Even Reagan did, even though Reagan, had, fairly a safe world with peace, but nothing like Trump did under 4 years. And you know what? Trump projects strength. You better know your stuff. You better know how to talk to him the way I understand it. People that actually know him and have interacted with him, he knows what he wants to do. He's got a plan and he can be convinced if you're right, but he does not pander to the PR crowd. He just doesn't do it. He wants to get it done and get it done right.
Why would you want a president who does?
I wouldn't. And that's, well, what do we got now? We got one that's in a coma right now. So,
well, then the Obama years, we weren't exactly seen as a strong country. other countries looking into us. I mean,
limp-wristed leaders, they give you weak times, and it's just the way it goes.
You also have to remember, guys, too, is the makeup of the United States is, people that are a little bit more aggressive, or, like us three are looked down upon in different areas because of how we act and how we do things. And it's almost
I'm used to that, though.
It's almost like a different way of thinking in some of these large areas. I mean, even in Texas, you go to Dallas, Texas, and you think, wow, Texas, everything's bigger in Texas, and all. They like the weaker type of people now. They like the soft, they like the, you have to be at peace, or you got to go to therapy for everything in the world right now, and everything's got to be equal. And I always tell people when they say that, I'm like, equal isn't always fair, and fair isn't always equal.
That's right.
So you got to remember, there's different ways that people are looking at leaders now, and not me. I like a strong leader. I really do.
I do too.
A very tough-looking type of person to be in that position, whether it's male or female.
Well, and Trump's a very towering man. What's he stand at? 6 something? I mean, he's very tall.
6'3".
A big build, and he projects that. When we went to him in Rapid down at the rally, I took my youngest and had a great time there. But when he walks out on stage, he walks out. He's not being a jerk. He's not even being arrogant. He's just a guy that kind of commands respect by walking on stage. It was interesting to watch that reaction when he came out on stage. And I think that's how he carries himself everywhere, because if you go look at Trump himself and his history over how many decades, he's actually a very generous man and a very caring man. I mean, he has helped out people you've never heard of, and he doesn't brag about it. He doesn't, oh, hey, look what I did. No, he just did it because it was the right thing to do. And that never comes out. But when it comes to business, and especially on the foreign fronts, I'm telling you guys, we had no wars, and we were respected, because I think Trump made, he probably put it out there that, listen, you better shape up, or we're going to turn your sandbox into glass. I imagine that's kind of how them conversations went. And I'm looking forward to him coming back.
That one podcast when they were interviewing a couple of Secret Service agents or whatever, and they were discussing that when he was meeting with the head of the Taliban, and they said if any one of our soldiers gets killed or hurt or anything like that, and he handed a piece of paper with a picture of the guy's house.
That was great, wasn't it?
And just walked out, right? I mean, that's the kind of thing that needs to be done, because I guarantee Putin and whatever the Chinese guy's name is, and those guys, that's how they operate. They operate on the tough guys, right? Their country looks at them as leaders, and that's what we need to have.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I think Trump will bring that, and it'll be just a complete 180 from what we're seeing right now. We're not respected anywhere right now on the foreign front.
Do you think all of these massive amounts of people that are showing up for the Harris are AI generated?
Well, I'll put it to you this way, depending on where you go, you can't, of course, believe everything online, but I actually know some friends in Vegas that they went by to go check it out. There was nobody outside. That was a real picture they sent me. As far as inside, no inside pictures there at the stadium, but it sounded like it was pretty empty, and they had to hang up black curtains and things like that to cover up the empty seats. And I would expect that. You gotta remember, Harris, every time that she's had an amount of people show up, what'd they have? A concert. They came for the concert and then they left.
Yeah.
And that ain't made up. That's the reality of it. But them pesky facts, the other side don't really like that. You're not supposed to pay attention to that. And I don't know.
They can have all these that they want. It still takes people showing up to the polls to make the difference.
Absolutely. And that's what I keep telling people in this election. It's always about the Electoral College. And let's face it, it's down to 6 states, maybe 5. And I think, and I've made this prediction a long time ago, Pennsylvania is going to be a big decider. And a year ago, I kind of thought Minnesota was in play. And I think it is, just for the simple fact she chose Walz, because I think she's worried that Minnesota's in play. We shall see. It'd be the first time in decades if they go Republican.
That doesn't mean outstate Minnesota, away from the 7-county metro, the Twin Cities, and away from the Arrowhead, both of which are solid left. The rest of the state's not going to vote for Kamala just because they have a Minnesota person on the ticket.
Well, Walz isn't even popular as a statewide, politician. And then you got, I don't know what they call that, the Iron Range up there.
Yep.
Those people, they did some polling on Reuters, I believe,
mm-hmm.
and they're polling towards Trump. That's huge. Because,
really?
Yes, because they're out. They're out of.
That's shocking.
They're out of work.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, think about it. People still,
that's a solid Democrat.
Absolutely.
Solid far left.
So to see that it was within 1 point towards Trump, that was huge. Now that could change. We got 80 some days before the election, which is eternity in a polls or in an election cycle. So yeah, it's very interesting. Looks like we got a call coming in here.
2580550. You're on Dakota Mornings. Good morning.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Fantastic. How are you?
Hanging in there. So I was really calling this. This Governor Walz thing and nobody should be allowed to carry guns like I carried in war. Drives me up a wall when in the same breath they talking about AR-15. An AR-15 is no more than a glorified 22, and only a moron would take that to war. I was in the military, and I can tell you, we don't touch anything like that.
Well, an AR-15 is the semi-auto version of the actual, M4s, M16s before that, things like that. And it shoots a .223. You can also, get them chambered in 5.56. They're not a bad gun. But yeah, that's not what it's going to take. And by the way, it wasn't a weapon of war. I love this, Todd. And me and Jamie talked about this until Ukraine come about, and we shipped actual AR-15s over there. Otherwise, an AR had never, ever been used in any war situation up to that
Hopefully
point.
that's all we left in Afghanistan then when we left weapons over there.
When we actually left real weapons.
I know.
And by the way, everything is a weapon of war generally. A 12 gauge Model 12 shotgun. I don't know if you guys are realizing this, but a Winchester was a trench gun. Remington made a trench gun used in World War II. So, I mean, it's not uncommon that shotguns, other rifles, bolt action. Look at the 30-06 Springfield, and a lot of them had them Enfield actions. 30-06s were a bolt action, and they served in both World War I and II, by the way, until we come out with the M1. So anyway, I'm not going to go down.
I'm just thinking if the Afghanistan weapons left behind thing had happened during the Trump administration, Bush administration, the Reagan administration, heaven forbid the Nixon administration. Could you imagine?
No, they'd have been out.
It's swept under the rug in the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Hello, you don't pull the military out, then try to get the civilians out.
Exactly.
Civilians go first, then the military.
And I was on a nuke submarine, and we carried 12 gauges on a nuke submarine. And I used to tell everybody when we were qualifying guns, if I catch you shooting that 12 gauge inside this boat, if it doesn't kill me, I'm going to kill you. Little round BBs in a black tube don't work well.
That's right. So, well, we thank you for your call because it's a great point, and I'm tired of that too.
Thanks, and thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I see Jamie was texting us here. Todd says 300,000 registered Republicans didn't vote in 2020 in Arizona. That's true, and I think that's the key here. If you're registered, we don't have voter registration in North Dakota, but the other 49 states do. So get registered if you're not, and vote. If you're going to be part
you have
of
to
this
bring
vote.
an ID to go to Kamala's rally.
Really? I did not know that.
But you don't have to bring an ID to vote. They don't want IDs to vote. But if you're going to go to the rally, we need an ID.
Go figure.
I mean, is that not a double standard? Hello?
Just a bit.
Remember when you used to rent videotapes? Are you guys old enough to remember that era?
Yes, I do. I'm not that young.
Try not to age myself too. You used to have to provide very firm identification just to get a crappy VHS tape that is probably going to break in your VCR.
Or open up an account in which you still had to show
Yeah,
ID.
yeah.
They didn't just hand you the tape.
Exactly. Oh, but so voting, you don't need to do that?
Yeah.
I don't that's always confused me.
All right. Hey, if you want to call in 800-258-05550. You're here on Dakota Morning. I'm guest host Clayton Peterson filling in for Michael Bell. Scott, you're going to stick around, right? I think we're just at the next break. So, all right.
You bet.
We'll see you on the next side of the break, guys, and who knows what will go down. Catch you in a bit.
Scott, don't be shy now.
Yeah, okay.
I've never heard you be this quiet. It's incredible.
KFYR 550 with Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. More coming up.
The iHeart Storm Desk keeps you up to date when the weather's threatening. Brought to you by Better Roofing and Contracting. Whether you have a hole in your roof or need a whole new roof, call Better Roofing and Contracting. 701-751-ROOF.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the Western Dakota Energy Association, looking out for the economic and social interests of cities, counties, and school districts in the energy-producing region of our state, the oil, gas, and coal counties.
It's seriously Coolsville today at Scotty's. Go ape on their new frozen beverages.
A house is made with different floors, and some with old windows and doors.
North Dakota weather can be rough. That's why we have windows and doors that are tough.
Day or night, cold or hot, new windows and doors can save you a lot.
Wind or hail, snow or rain, high energy bills can sure be a pain.
Now I know I'm not a poet. Trust me, Shane let me know it.
When it comes to better windows and doors, we don't sell any dinosaurs. I'm Shane.
And I'm Jaden. We're your local owners of the Window and Door Store in Bismarck. Hey, if you're new to the Bismarck area, stop in at our huge showroom at the corner of Main and 9th.
People stop in all the time to get ideas and see what's new. We love showing people the different styles, colors, and options.
You can ask us one question or a zillion questions, but we never pressure people to buy. If you're really busy, give us a ring and one of our Window and Door Store gurus will meet with you at your home when it works best for you.
The Window and Door Store here in Bismarck.
Better windows, better doors.
The work done by the thousands of North Dakota oil and natural gas workers is working to improve energy independence and national security. Working to make America more competitive around the world. And working to provide a better today and tomorrow for everyone in North Dakota and across our country. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas works for our future. North Dakota Petroleum Foundation, advancing the possibilities.
Hi, this is Paul Barton with ABC Seamless. Did you know the number of home improvement companies in the area has doubled? Do your homework. Ask for the names and phone numbers of customers they have done work for, the address of their place of business. Ask to see their driver's license, a copy of the liability insurance, and a contractor's license. Check the license plates on their vehicle. Check with the Better Business Bureau. Ask yourself, will they be here to service me tomorrow? Don't become one of the hundreds of victims that have been misled or duped every year. Call ABC Seamless. Better products, better installation, and a better warranty.
Before you can respond to a loved one in the midst of an overdose, it's important to know what that looks like. Learn the signs of an overdose at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
iHeartRadio, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics, brought so many memorable moments.
Look, Captain America putting the country on his back.
And you heard it on iHeartRadio. Relive all the amazing moments and stories of the 2024 Paris Olympics on 3 epic podcasts: The Podium, In the Village, and 2 Guys, 5 Rings. Open the free iHeart app, search Olympics, and start listening now.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by Freedom Matters USA. Back to Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
You can name this tune in one note.
Johnny Cash, don't take your guns to town. Oh yeah, I know that one.
One pluck goes out there and he's already got it. I love it.
Listen to a lot of radio in my life. I was always in tractors or vehicles or something. So yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Guns to town, but I'm not going to sing for you
anymore. Come on, Scott, sing. We'll hear it here.
And then all of us thank you for not singing. We appreciate it.
I was going to pop some popcorn and watch the show and see just how far he went singing.
I don't want to lose all the listeners for the show. So, hey, I have to answer a buddy of mine, Jason. Yes, I did tell the story, but we'll leave it at that. We're not going any farther on the air.
You're not going to tell that story on the air? That's a good story.
Nah, I think we'll skip that one. Oh, goodness. Welcome back
story.
To everybody at Dakota Mornings. I am Clayton Peterson, guest hosting for Michael Bell with Scott Bachmeier, Dakota Prairie Outdoor. Before we run out of time, unless you're sticking around a little bit on the second hour and joining me and Wayne.
I could sure do that. You know,
okay.
Like, if you need me, absolutely.
Well, have some fun, maybe.
Oh, we always need you, Scott.
But why don't you tell us, Dakota Prairie Outdoor? I know the info, but why don't you tell us, when, where, and where they can get the information?
Well, website is being revamped because there was an organization that hacked into my account. Yeah, well, one of those anti-hunting organizations. Now they have hackers that work there full time, and we had to do a little bit of work on that. So you won't see the new site will be around hopefully coming up this fall when we get everything revamped a little bit. But here on KFYR, you have at 5:35, 5:40 in the afternoon. You can hear it there. You can find me on pretty much all the radio stations on the western side of North and South Dakota is where you can find me.
Sounds good. I think you're still even on KBJM down there, aren't you? Where I'm
on there. Yeah, just got an email from them too. You bet.
And of course, YouTube. You have your YouTube channel now, and I know you've been trying to get that to grow because something with some live streaming you can do or something different, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But yeah, no, you can find me on quite a few different radio stations, and then of course my Saturday morning talk show here on KFYR, and appreciate those guys for still having me around.
No, absolutely. And I caught that one. That was, I didn't realize it was going to be a pre-recorded, but I still watched it.
Yeah. I had to help a neighbor. It's getting into the fall work side of things right now. So I got branding is always kind of a tough time of the year to keep rocking and rolling, but fall time again, I got to pay back that help with all the neighbors.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Everyone's starting to move. In fact, next week, I'm going to actually be down there helping the Kling Ranch, and he's got 2,500 head of yearlings that he puts out all over. So it's the closest thing we get to cattle drives. We don't use horses. We do use four-wheelers, but it's kind of fun to get out in them early mornings. And a lot of times there's fog like there was this morning. You see them yearlings just coming up out of them breaks and through that fog. It's just, and I really enjoy doing that with them. And there's a bunch of us that join in on that. It's kind of a family deal, and that's Danelle's cousin. So yeah, it's really good to go out, have some fun, and bring all them yearlings and gather them in. And that'll be 5 days straight, and they'll be selling in Lemon on Wednesday. So big sale. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, that'll be fun. So hopefully the cattle prices stay where they're at, or even a little bit higher. It'd be nice, but I kind of worry about that a little bit. So
you and me both.
I think we're going to see a drop. I think Tyson's closing up one of their packing plants, and I think that's going to create a little bit of a uproar. I work with a guy in Nebraska that does all my cattle business,
right?
Investing, okay, as we can consider it. And he's projecting it's going to fall off this fall a little bit. So let's hope not. Let's hope he's wrong.
I hope he's wrong. Last year was the first time I ever sold off the cow. We always backgrounded our calves. We always did well with it, but the prices were so good, and it just didn't pencil out, Scott, to keep them, do all that work, the feed, the time, the hay, you know how it goes, to sell in January. So I don't know. We'll see if that price is holding. I'm still preparing like I'm going to have to feed, but I ain't gonna lie. It was sure nice having the winter off and do a little hunting rather than working. So, all right. Well, that's we're coming up to the top of the hour. We're going to that. Wayne Muth will be joining us. If you want to stick around, that'd be great, and we'll have some great conversations with Wayne Muth.
Sure, I'll stick around.
Oh,
I kind of have to.
Oh, Todd, that's right. I forgot you were there. Be like Tombstone. You may go. Anyway, you're listening to Dakota
you want to do
Mornings.
this? You go ahead.
You're listening to Dakota Mornings here, right on KFYR 550. We'll see you after the top of the hour.
KFYR 550 with Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. More coming up.
Coming up on the Monday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, looking at the polls from over the weekend and the Sunday shows shaping the narrative. How is this Kamala Harris hiding from the breast thing really going? We'll discuss what it looks like, especially in those battleground states. Plus, what is the Trump plan to revitalize things? And what would Kamala Harris do if, God forbid, she won? Coming up on Clay and Buck. At 11 on the legendary voice of the Northern Plains, KFYR 550.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
From the Cashwise Food Studios, 550 KFYR Bismarck and 99.7 K259 AF Bismarck. Listen on the free iHeart app for all your music, sports, talk, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Will Republicans win back control of the Senate? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Power rankings just out from Fox News this morning suggest there's a good chance. Projecting the GOP will win 50 seats. Democrats will take 47.
With 3 toss-up races that will determine control of the Senate. That's in Montana, Nevada, and Ohio.
Fox's Brian Yennis reports the former president could win those states again, helping the Republicans challenging Senator John Tester in Montana and Sherrod Brown in Ohio.
Trump won Montana by 16 points in 2020. He won Ohio by 8 points in 2020.
In the presidential race, Democrats believe Vice President Harris has momentum going into next week's convention, leading in some national and battleground state polls. Fox's Mark Meredith reports from the White House.
Harris says she will do more of the economic plans later on this week. We're going to be watching to see if she further embraces Bidenomics or if she's going to distance herself from it. Harris says she plans to do a sit-down interview within weeks. It's likely then she'd face more direct questions about any policy flip-flops. Trump says he's ready to talk about it right now. He posted this morning, Harris has flip-flopped on virtually every policy she has supported and lived by for her entire career. She sounds more like Trump than Trump, copying almost everything.
Now, former President Trump's filed a claim with the U.S. government, setting the stage for a lawsuit over the classified documents investigation, alleging his privacy was violated by the FBI's raid on his Florida estate, and he was maliciously prosecuted, though a federal judge dismissed the case last month. Israel shot down more rockets today, fired by Hezbollah militants in Lebanon, while preparing for the bigger attack Iran has vowed, and the U.S. wants to help defend Israel.
Late last night, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin held another call with his Israeli counterpart and ordered the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group, currently in the Pacific, to expedite her transit along with the strike group to take station within striking range of Iran. He also ordered the guided missile submarine USS Georgia to move into firing range.
That's Lucas Tomlinson. America's listening to Fox News.
Well, summer's here and the weather is beautiful. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
KFYR.
Russia's president
From
is
the
downplaying
North
Ukraine's
Dakota
counter-invasion.
The Theodore Roosevelt
Vladimir Putin saying
Airport
today
in Dickinson,
the cross-border
considering
attacks, prompting
$46.5
100,000 Russians to evacuate in the
expansion.
Kursk region.
The project would
Are
involve
Ukrainian
a new
attempts to gain
terminal,
leverage in
taxiway,
peace
road
talks.
system, and
A Missouri
parking.
police officers in a hospital after being
76
seriously
passenger
injured
jets
in
will begin flying
Ferguson.
in and out
This
of the
weekend
airport
marked
in coming
10 years since the
and
police
current
shooting
terminal
death of
is
Michael
not big
Brown.
enough. 2 roads in Bismarck closed for construction beginning today. A section of 19th Street will be closed while crews install a roundabout at Calgary Avenue, and a detour will be in place. A section of 14th Street between Harvest Lane and south of Calgary will also be closed. Both closures expected to last just 1 month. In sports, preseason football, the Vikings beat the Raiders 24-23. Minnesota visits Cleveland on Saturday, and the Twins fall to the Guardians 5-3. Minnesota now 3.5 games behind Cleveland in the Central Division.
KFYR 550.
Republicans are weird.
You know it, you feel
To
it.
just be plain weird.
They are weird. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell.
It's the wild,
They're weird.
very weird. Take children away from their parents. Get weird. If the parents don't want to consent to sex changes. Another news update to be the border czar and open up the border is coming up.
Well, it's just plain weird.
Decision 2024. Normal guys who want to make this country great again.
Your news authority. KFYR. Real Estate Talk during Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the Title Team every other week.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Keep listening for your next chance to be there.
On the moment with the Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses. Wear timeless styles with technology that lets you listen to music, capture pictures and videos, live stream, make a hands-free call or text, and even ask Meta AI questions on the go, all while you stay present in the moment.
With you through every storm, Better Roofing and Contracting.
Hi, this is Troy Orr with Orr Auctioneers. Once again, it's fall consignment auction time at the Orr Auction Center. This auction will take place the first week in September, so now's the time to bring your farm equipment and miscellaneous items to our location just 4.5 miles south of Jamestown for our large fall farm equipment consignment auction. This has been a successful auction in the past, and this year's auction will be no exception. Today is the day. Give us a call at 952-3351 or stop by. Our team is ready to assist you 4.5 miles south of Jamestown at bidor.com.
Sold!
We're from North Dakota, where 12,000 workers bring electricity to 2 million customers and provide over $5 billion in economic activity to the state, while reclaiming 22,000 acres of land. This is coal country.
Visit LakeNight.com to learn more.
At First Western, providing the best in customer service is our top priority. As your community bank, we offer a variety of financial tools for your personal and business banking needs, as well as surcharge-free ATMs around the community within the MoneyPass network. Our drive-thrus are open from 7:30 a.m. until 6 p.m., Monday through Friday at both of our Bismarck locations. On Saturdays, our downtown Bismarck drive-thru is open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for added convenience. We are people you know who know you. First Western Bank, you can bank on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This weather is brought to you by River City Sports. At River City Sports, buying is a breeze with no games or gimmicks. For great deals every day, come to River City Sports.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Mostly sunny and pleasant this afternoon. High for the rest of the day, 80. Then mainly clear skies tonight with a low of 59. Breezy and pleasant tomorrow with a mix of clouds and sunshine. High on Tuesday, 85. Then we'll have a couple of showers Wednesday morning. Otherwise, a humid day with more clouds than sunshine and a high of 79. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Holly Holdren.
Right now, 65.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is brought to you by North Dakota's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, the power of human connections. KFYR 550 brings you the information you need to know and the newsmakers at the center of the stories. This is Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
Well, you can turn it on too. I mean, I just figured I didn't want you to forget to turn it on, so I turned it on.
I thought you wanted
He's
me to
looking at
tell
me
you-
like, why are you turning my microphone on?
Well, I thought you wanted me to name the song. I don't know this one.
Oh, this is the one Michael always used. Born Free by Kid Rock. He always uses this one.
Hey, Kid Rock, he seems like he's pretty conservative anymore, so we can live with it. I know he's
Well, yeah,
pro-gun.
I mean, he is. I mean, he absolutely is. I just think it's hang on a second here. It's funny that a guy that does some of the songs that he's done ends up kind of one, conservative, and two, sort of almost country.
Oh yeah, I think he's probably a pretty good guy if you ever get to meet him.
And yet he did this.
Yeah.
This doesn't, you don't listen to this song and you think this is a future Republican activist.
Not in general. No.
I mean, it doesn't scream, you know what? We should grab this guy for the Republican presidential campaign. And
I can remember seeing him on Jay Leno when he was out, doing the walk in the street, and he come across Kid Rock before he was anybody and did an interview with him. That was pretty fun to watch. Yeah, so.
Very cool.
Yeah, now I dated myself. I can go back that far. All right,
I can date myself far further.
Welcome back to Dakota Morning.
I have an 8-track player in my house. How about you?
I do, but I want it functions too.
Mine does too. And ironically, my Wi-Fi router is sitting right on top of it. A little mixing technology.
There you go.
I think one of them is going to burst into flames at some point.
All right, we better welcome back everybody to Dakota Mornings. Michael Bell, but I, of course, am Clayton Peterson, guest hosting today, and we're having some fun with Scott Bachmeier from Dakota Prairie Outdoors. We also have Wayne Muth. He's going to be joining us now. He is an official scoring guy for Pope and Young. He's an outdoor writer. He produces Ranch America TV series. Welcome, Wayne, and of course, we got Scott still with us. Appreciate that.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for asking me. Thanks for having me, and look forward to this. It should be good.
Yeah. Well, I thought being, you score for Pope and Young, and if nobody understands what Pope and Young is versus Boone and Crockett, that's the archery side. And guess what we have coming up here pretty soon? August 30th, North Dakota deer and pronghorn seasons are going to be opening up. So I'm tell you what, I'm going to let you kind of take it and tell us what you do for scoring, because not everybody knows if they don't hunt.
Sure, I will do that. But first, we're going to take a little step back. I'm going to take this time to really thank Scott Bachmeier. You've had your Dakota Prairie Outdoors for probably close to 2 decades, and he's really given a lot of us the opportunity to get out and tell what we do and help promote the outdoors and hunting and the ranching world and just North Dakota in general. And I think really kudos goes to Scott for all he's done for a lot of people really that have given him the door to a lot of avenues going forward here. And I thank you, Scott. Really appreciate that.
Hey, thank you for saying that, Wayne. That means a lot. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And absolutely.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. So, with the scoring piece, so what we do is what Pope and Young is, it's a conservation group, and conservation can be kind of a touchy word. Anti-groups look at it as one way and hunters look at it another. And conservation to this group is, of course, through hunting, and you got to have conservation for your animals because that's how you keep them on the landscape. It's kind of a little bit of an oxymoron in a sense, but we harvest them to keep them there, and that's what we do. And Pope and Young is established about 60 years ago, and actually 63 years ago, back in 1960. And the organization, came about to promote a better idea of hunting with a bow and showing how effective bow hunting is, and that's how it was established. And then they started thinking, let's promote this to take out to pursue the more mature animals, so that you can show that you can first harvest these mature animals, but you're taking out those bucks that are probably already bred and keeping that herd really viable and such. And that's where it was established. And they really were instrumental in getting bow hunting seasons across the United States. And so what we do is, if somebody shoots a Pope and Young animal, or I should say a high quality large animal, they can bring it to one of us measures, and we can measure it and see if it meets the minimum requirements to make it into the record book for Pope and Young. And there's some requirements like a 60-day drying period, and there's other requirements of equipment and such, and fair chase rules, and they're very strong on fair chase. And there's rules that you can look up on their website. So that's really the gist of it. And there is a fee for entering an animal into Pope and Young if it does qualify, and you get a nice certificate, and it shows really what that animal has done for growing their rack and really paying tribute to that animal. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, I was just on their website kind of looking at some of this stuff here. I see they have a minimum elk one right on their front homepage, on their landing page. So I didn't find the deer one, but I don't know what the minimums are. Do you know what that is off the top of your head?
Yeah, for whitetail, typical whitetail is 125 inches. A non-typical whitetail is 150. The typical mule deer is 155, and non-typical mule deer is 170. Then you have antelope is 67 inches for antelope. And they will add new animals to their list. Recently, we've had Roosevelt's elk and Tool elk with for non-typical. They've now made a categories for that into the record book. Velvet bucks do go into the record book as not as their own category. They're all put together. Actually, it is their own category. I should say that, but they're still recognized as a world record if they are large enough to do so. So it's good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Scott, I know you're probably more of an archery hunter than you are rifle, especially compared to me. I'm a rifle guy. That's what I've always done. So, I guess the question is what do you think when, they talk about the fair chase? I'm going to go down that way, the fair chase versus non-fair chase, because I always hear about that, and I know what a lot of people's opinions are, but I'd like your take on that.
Just hunt. Just get out and hunt. Good grief. I don't know. The fair chase, it determines on which way you look at. I like spot and stalk.
Yep.
That just because I enjoy that. All right. Some people enjoy sitting in a tree stand, sitting in a ground blind. Some people, throw out some corn or mineral or whatever. It doesn't matter to me one way or another. It really doesn't, because you got them out there hunting, whether they're using archery equipment or rifle or any type of firearm for that matter. At least they're out there doing that, and they're spending money at their local mom and pop shops or maybe some other bigger stores. They're helping that. They're coming out. They're buying fuel and food in some of these gas stations that are owned by local people. And fair chase to me, it's like it does not matter. And I think too many people get caught up in this instead of just enjoying going out and spending some time out there and hunting.
Well, I agree with
that. Yeah. So, I mean, when somebody tells me, oh, well, they're hunting over this or they have this, great, they're hunting. Well, but no, they're still hunting. They're not these people that are buying the tags and letting them go to waste. They're out there hunting. And that's all that matters to me. Get out there and have fun.
Absolutely. And that is key. I'm with you. I don't care really how you hunt. I really want to see people get out there hunting. My boys are going out this year. We all are going to have tags this year. I just had them behind in their rifles, and they did great, working with the targets and making sure they're hitting. That's another thing that I think is important, whether it's a bull, whether it's a gun, whatever it might be. Make sure you're making good shots.
And I should say this, I get out there and hunt, have fun. Also, just make sure that you respect the landowners.
Yes.
And be careful in some areas. The fire danger is like super, super high. So just enjoy, but make sure that you understand that these private landowners pay a little respect and be nice.
And I got to throw one other
some
thing
of the
out.
landowners aren't. Some of the landowners probably aren't as nice as, but still, just bear with them a little bit.
Respect the landowners. Like I said, we were talking earlier, most of the state of North Dakota is privately owned. So if you don't have that relationship, probably going to be pretty tough to find a place to hunt, in all honesty. And I was kind of looking up some facts here and figures. So the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is showing that there's this was the most current, they had 14.4 million hunters aged 16 and over, and these are all combined, all types of hunting. $45.2 billion generated into the economy. Think about that. When you put it with Pittman Robinson, which is the 11% tax that was implemented in 1937 under the, I think it was called the Federal Aid Wildlife Restoration Act or something like that. I'm telling you, this is big and it's huge. We wouldn't want to lose it. And the only way we're going to keep this and keep conservation going, and that's a whole nother term, conservation, everyone has their own idea of it, is if we get those young guys out there, and that's what you do. You get them out there hunting in whatever season you can, period.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And when you talk in the rules of fair chase, and I think a lot of people get a different perspective of that, when it's looking at, are you sitting in a haystack or sitting on the edge of a cornfield or on a corn pile? That's all fair chase. I mean, that's exactly what Scott says. But the history behind this came many years ago when they got into the hunting for just consumer hunting, in a sense, where they would run deer out or chase deer out into a lake, and they'd go alongside with boats and they'd grab them and they'd slit their throats, and that's how they would harvest their deer. And then the deer populations dropped dramatically, and there was some organization that came around and said, hey, we've got to start looking at this, and how are we going to keep our deer populations there? So that's how the rule of fair chase came up with.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Wayne, I got to go to a break, Wayne,
okay,
but can we bring this back on the other side?
With Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. More coming up. Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the Brighter Future Alliance, working to keep North Dakota a great place to live, work, and raise a family.
Conservation is work worth doing here in North Dakota. The Dakota Legacy Initiative aims to assist in that work by providing timely and reliable information all in one central online location. The newly developed website houses programs, resources, and events from conservation organizations across the state to help support you in conserving our lands for generations to come. Explore all we have to offer today. Visit DakotaLegacyInitiative.com.
A house is made with different floors, and some with old windows and doors.
North Dakota weather can be rough. That's why we have windows and doors that are tough.
Day or night, cold or hot, new windows and doors can save you a lot.
Wind or hail, snow or rain, high energy bills can sure be a pain.
Now I know I'm not a poet. Trust me, Shane let me know it.
When it comes to better windows and doors, we don't sell any dinosaurs. I'm Shane.
And I'm Jaden. We're your local owners of the window and door store in Bismarck. Hey, if you're new to the Bismarck area, stop in at our huge showroom at the corner of Main and 9th.
People stop in all the time to get ideas and see what's new. We love showing people the different styles, colors, and options.
You can ask us one question or a zillion questions, but we never pressure people to buy. If you're really busy, give us a ring and one of our window and door store gurus will meet with you at your home when it works best for you.
The window and door store here in Bismarck.
Better windows, better doors.
There's a misconception that in order to be world class, you need to perform on the world stage. But sometimes being the best just means doing things the right way, right where you are, because it's the right thing to do. We believe you deserve world-class healthcare no matter where in the world you live, because every patient, everywhere, means the world to us. Here for all, here for good. Sanford Health.
North Dakota Truck Wash, the Bakken's premier all-in-one location stop for all of your vehicle's wash needs. Commercial vehicles, standard semis, work trucks, pickup trucks, SUVs, and even motorhomes. Plus, you won't find better customer service anywhere. Find North Dakota Truck Wash conveniently located behind Cenex in Stanley on the truck bypass. Open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, or call 628-1550. 628-1550. Online at ndtruckwash.com.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. And as your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we know our community isn't just important, it's everything. Which is why we're grateful for your trust to provide the energy you need every day. Because for us, there's nothing more important than giving you the power to power on.
North Dakota's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, the power of human connections.
Between the lines, far beyond legal and ethical limits, and under the surface,
too dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We have officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events. Is somebody messing with us? Now it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation, advancing the possibilities. Back to Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
Tell me you know what this song is.
I don't that one.
Shoot to Thrill.
Shoot to Thrill.
Easy.
I should have known. Now I can hear it. I didn't know that on the first note. I like me some AC/DC. All right. Welcome back to Dakota Mornings right here on KFYR. We're joined by Scott Bachmeier, Dakota Prairie Outdoors, and Wayne Muth. And we were talking about fair chase when we had to go into the breaks. I didn't want to cut you off there, Wayne, but go ahead and finish up what you were going to tell us.
No, I would just mention that, in the past where they wanted to start conserving some of the killing of the deer and such, because they would run them out into lakes with boats, and they'd go by and they would harvest them, cut their throats, or they would use powered vehicles to chase them around. Well, those are the things that are listed into the fair chase piece, helpless in trap, deep snow or water on ice, or using tranquilizers or jacklighting or power boats and power vehicles. Those are the fair chase pieces that they look at these animals are taken with fair chase. And it just makes sense, when you look at that in the whole. So that's what they promote as well. And looking at different equipment as well, and something that's changed in North Dakota this year. It is now legal to use lighted sight pins in North Dakota, which it was not in the past. And Pope and Young, we've had a regular members, which is a voting member. We've had a vote on that, and I definitely voted to allow that. And they'll have those results by the end of this month, and be able to hopefully allow people to use lighted sight pins. Because if you sit in a blind, if you've sat in a blind where it's dark, or some of the deep timber and such, it's dark. And if you don't have any sunlight, it's hard to see your pins. And then getting that ethical shot that you want to get makes it a little bit more trying, especially for the younger, newer hunters out there. So it's good. It's good moves.
Well, it's another tool. I look at it as another tool to take a good, ethical, clean shot. And why wouldn't you want that? I'm guessing Scott kind of thinks the same way on that.
No, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. I was, the first time I used lighted pins was hog hunting in Texas. And it blew my mind how much nicer it was to be able to put that on. Because, I mean, you're like Wayne said, if you're sitting in a blind and you try to get it blacked out as best you can in there so they can't see any movement, it does restrict some of that light coming into those fiber optics in that pin. So if you can have a little light assist, I don't know why anybody would say that that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I can tell you that here in North Dakota, working with game and fish here on some of this stuff, it's always an uphill battle. Change is very hard. I mean, we face this with being able to use night vision and then thermal, of course, suppressors, just name the things that we've done in the past 10 years around here. It was an uphill battle, but to me, it's all tools. It all helps improve the hunting experience. And again, make sure that you can place the best possible shot and take that animal as quick as you can with the least amount of issues and pain or anything else. That's just my take on it.
Yep, exactly. That's perfect.
So let's go and let's move on here. So Wayne, you're also the producer of Ranch America TV series. Why don't you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, well, it kind of happened on a whim. This was back in March of 2023 last year. My wife and I were watching the Outdoor Channel. It was one of these snowy days, the cold days, and we came across this series called Ranch America. It was our first series. It was our first season, and what it is, it's a contemporary perspective of the American cattle rancher. They travel throughout the United States with a film crew and host, and they look at they celebrate the cattle rancher, the cowboy and rodeo communities, working horses. And restaurants that specialize in beef and ranching activities and everything that encompasses that outside of that. So, we saw this, and it's like when you see something that really is so good that this story needs to be told, this was it. So with coaxing from my wife, Judy, she said, I said, God, why can't they come to North Dakota? So anyway, make a long story short, I was able to contact the executive producer, and we worked together for the next 3 to 4 months. And I got them out here 2 weeks last year, and they came out again this spring. And they asked me to be one of their content producers for the ongoing for the show. And so we're working on stuff in Montana right now and other places. And they came out, and we've been all over. I mean, the Shops Angus Ranch and Ellingson's and Chadburger's Bucking Bulls and Hermanson Horses. We've been out to Scott's for his ranching, his rope and drag ranching, and Dixie made a great meal, and everybody out there and all that. Kiss Livestock. We went to 40 Steak and Seafood. It's Mabel's Food. It's Black Leg Ranch. It's horses. It's Cowboy Hall of Fame. It's Saddle Makers. It's Indian relays, mounted shooting. It's Benny Paulson took us up. We looked at his rotational grazing that he does, and his livestock rodeo, and his bull riding school, all kinds of things like that we want to expose. That we do very well here in North Dakota. And as Scott mentioned earlier, Texas. Everybody says things are bigger in Texas. Well, things are just better in North Dakota, I think, and that's good. It's a good story to be told.
Absolutely. So I got a question. When is this going to be airing, the North Dakota segments? And is all that going to fit into one episode, or are you going to have to do two?
Well, there's I think two episodes. There's 8 episodes in this season. The season starts September 27th. It's on a Friday. It's on the Outdoor Channel now, and the season will run for 8 episodes. Like I said, I know that there's 2 episodes that have North Dakota content in, which is really great. And I'm trying to get a list of where those are at. I know we were through, I think, 7 episodes putting everything together. And so hopefully I'll be able to get that information. And that's found on the Outdoor Channel, on Friendly TV, on Midco, I think Direct TV, Dish Network. And I think you can also get it on Fubu or Hulu or others that you probably have to check and see if you have to subscribe to that or something. But it's just a great series. And the ranching story needs to be told of what the challenges are out there, what the great things are, how good things they do. And that's where I wanted to get involved with this, because it's just giving kudos to the people who put the meat on the table.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. And you can find it at ranchamericatv.com. Tell you what, we're going to go into the bottom of the hour here. We'll hang on over on the other side, guys, and we'll come back, and who knows what rabbit hole will go down. Dakota Mornings here, right here on KFYR.
KFYR 550 with Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. More coming up.
News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Lawyers for former President Donald Trump tell Fox Business they filed a claim with the United States for $100 million over the Mar-a-Lago raid.
Trump accuses the Department of Justice and FBI of invasion of privacy, a malicious prosecution, and abuse of process. Trump's lawyer raises a number of issues. One is the way in which the search warrant was executed in a total surprise.
That's Fox's Lydia Hu. The notice of claim gives Trump the right to sue the government if the claim is not settled within 6 months. The Democratic National Convention is next week in Chicago.
A source familiar told Fox News that President Joe Biden, former President Barack Obama, former President Bill Clinton, and former Secretary of State and 2016 Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton have been confirmed as speakers.
That's Fox's Brooke Singman. America's listening to Fox News.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the University of Mary, faithfully Christian, joyfully Catholic, and grateful Benedictine.
Better Roofing and Contracting, whether it's a hole in the roof or a whole new roof.
Hi, this is Tyler with Better Roofing and Contracting. When a hailstorm hits your area, that very first night or the very next day, do not answer your front door to somebody knocking at your door. Those guys are what we call storm chasers. They actually physically watch the storms develop, and they run to certain areas, and they're there within hours of the hailstorm damaging your home. Be patient, call your agent. Who do they recommend? Get more information versus just panicking and hiring the first guy that comes to your door and says your roof is damaged. When you have an issue, they don't come back. They're not here when you need them because you need them today. We're here today. One thing you get with Better Roofing, fixing your hail damage, is a workmanship warranty.
Better Roofing and Contracting, serving Central North Dakota. Online at betterroofingandcontracting.com.
Be on the lookout for Pontius Prize Patrol with celebrity guest Eric Estrada at Four Bears Casino. Play your favorite slot now through September 6th to qualify to win a 2024 Harley-Davidson Fat Boy and a shot at $100,000 cash prize and your share of $25,000 in cash and free slot play. Earn your entry and then look out for Pontius Prize Patrol, where Eric Estrada will hand out cash and free play on September 7th. Stop in today in Newtown. Four Bears Casino, your oasis for fun. Must be 19 years of age to gamble.
Get everything for your next project at Menards. Tackle tough jobs with Loctite Power Grab. This all-purpose construction adhesive is easy to use and bonds to a variety of materials. Plus, it's high strength, paintable, and reduces the need for clamping with 0-second instant grab. Save big money on Loctite Power Grab at Menards and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Legacy. It begins the moment we're born, growing with every step as we journey through life. It lives in the relationships we build along the way and in those we love. At First International Bank and Trust, our legacy is you. In every stage of life, we walk with you, making sure you get to where you're going and protecting your legacy for generations to come. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Discover your slice of heaven at Sunrise View Estates. This City of Mandan development has beautiful views. It features a variety of lots, a new city park, plus it's near the Starion Sports Complex, new high school and middle school, and I-94. Contact me, Lauren Culber at Integra Realty Group to see if Sunrise View Estates is right for you. 701-751-6377. The roads are going in now, so now is the time to make your move.
You'd expect to see the North Dakota oil and natural gas industry working at wells and processing facilities. What you might not know is our oil and gas industry also works to build roads, provide school funding, and even protect us from flooding by creating nearly 50,000 jobs statewide and generating billions of tax dollars annually to support our infrastructure, our great outdoors, and our schools. North Dakota Petroleum Foundation, advancing the possibilities.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
The iHeart Storm Desk keeps you up to date when the weather's threatening. Brought to you by Better Roofing and Contracting. Whether you have a hole in your roof or need a whole new roof, call Better Roofing and Contracting. 701-751-ROOF.
Your KFYR Farm Field Forecast is brought to you by Northwest Tire, General Equipment and Supplies, Poland Steel of Jamestown, and Dakota Legacy Initiative.
Good morning. Here is your AccuWeather Farm Field forecast for today. Partly sunny skies, a high today 80. Winds will be from the northeast with the wind speed at 5 miles per hour. Humidity at 90%. Dew point at 58 degrees. Soil temperature at 65. Sunrise at 6:38 a.m. The sunset 8:57 p.m. That's your Farm Field forecast. I'm Steve Williams for AccuWeather.
Right now, 65.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by Lignite Energy Council, fueling the future, powering progress. Back to Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
I know it, but I can't think of the title of it.
Hungry like the wolf, but the reason I play it, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you, you know.
No hunting, right?
Yeah, it's a hunting thing. Sort of.
I don't know all of them. I don't think I'm as bad as Michael. But
no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm sure anybody is. And I would say that if you were in the room.
We'll throw him under the bus today, right? All right.
Oh, he'd admit to it.
I know he would. Anyway, we're back here at Dakota Mornings here on KFYR 550. And we got about 2 segments left or so. So, guys, Wayne and Scott, and I don't care who wants to answer this first. I'm going to throw a couple things out there for you. One is going to be in Minnesota. They actually last year approved using crossbows during their archery season. And I'm really, really anxious to see those results and see if it made it worse, made it better, made the opportunity less, whatever it might be. I'm really, really, really curious to see where that goes. And I guess I kind of want your guys' opinion on this, because I know we've all talked about it at one time or another. And I guess, what do you think of crossbows in archery season, other than just because of medical reasons?
I'll let Wayne take this first off. Go ahead, Wayne.
Okay, sure. Well, first of all, when you look at, if I take a step back into the Pope and Young piece of it, they don't allow crossbows into the Pope and Young. There is a record book for crossbows, and so if you shoot trophy animals, you can do that. However, just hunting with crossbows into our archery season, I think we have to. We tread on a little bit of thin ice there, because right now North Dakota has got some of the most generous bow hunting seasons in the nation. We start at Labor Day weekend, and we go through the first week of January, and there's no breaks in between there. So, and I think if you start having crossbows, and these bows can, make it much more efficient, I think the Game and Fish Department would have to look at the success rate if they're using that as a management tool. And does that force them into saying, you know what, we got to cut your seasons back. We can allow only so many tags or whatever. I would be for just having a crossbow season for just crossbow separate to archery and not combining them. That would be my take on it.
Okay. Scott?
Well, I see. It will be interesting to see what the numbers come back as having an archery season in Minnesota or any other state for that reason. I don't see a problem using crossbows. I understand the concept. People are like, well, then we're, like Wayne said, if you have a separate season, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, maybe that's a way to look at it. I know the bow hunters, everybody's fighting a crossbow for some reason, and I don't understand it. And, but you also have people that are longbow, recurve bows.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like compound bow guys, and compound guys don't like these guys, and everybody don't like this guy, and I just wish it would be a little bit easier, but I think it's, I had this discussion with John Armin many times, and they're like, wow, crossbows are just, everybody thinks crossbows, they're so much faster and more efficient. Well, so is a compound bow over the last 20 years has gotten pretty efficient too. But if you're going to say, well,
that's true.
What the thing that really gets me is when somebody says, well, it's just not part of the heritage or tradition. And I look at them and say, crossbows have been around longer than compound bows.
Yeah. Weapon of war, by the way. They were used in the primitive war fighting forever.
Yeah. So I don't see a problem with it, but I also understand people's concerns about maybe shortening the season or, not being able to get your over-the-counter tag. Or I get that too. I understand. It'd be nice to allow people to use what they want to use that's legal to use.
So, and that you mentioned it right there, the over-the-counter tag. I think that's probably the biggest argument I hear when I bring it up with somebody. I'm not an archery hunter, and not that I'm against it. It's not my thing. I've shot a bow. It's fun. My boys are pretty adept at it. They're very good at it, way better than I am. But I think the biggest complaint I always hear is the availability. So then I always throw at them. So I said, you just want your own niche so you don't have to apply like the rest of us do in the other seasons. And of course, that sometimes ruffles some feathers. I do believe the technology, you look at some of these compound bows, my goodness, you're shooting out there, some people 100 yards, really? And they're accurately doing it. And that was unheard of even just 10 years ago, really. Not unless you were competition, you know what I'm talking about? And so I don't know if you have an advantage. I know we've talked about that on our show several times, Jamie and I have, and we've had John on, and really there's no proof anymore that there is an advantage to having a crossbow. And to me, it's like anything else. If you are not familiar with what you're using and put some time in and put some hours behind it, you're not going to be good with anything. So it comes down to getting out there and getting behind whatever you're using. I don't have an issue with it. That's why I'm waiting to see the stats coming out of Minnesota. That's going to be a real telltale to me as to whether it had that big of impact on hunters, tags, and limits to me.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. And if it's not going to impact it where it will not, force the Game and Fish Department to start using it as a management tool, then that's fine. Right now, archery is not into their listing as part of that management to harvest records that they use. It's the gun season that they use. And so we hopefully that won't change and we can let people use crossbows. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it, but I think, we have to be careful. And it's like the single tag system you mentioned, Clay. And, I think we should really be careful because if we lose it, we'll never get it back. You have the opportunity now. Anybody has the opportunity to go buy buy an archery tag. And if you don't want to, that is a choice. And then you can apply for a gun tag, of course. But
I kind of want.
I don't think taking that away would be the piece either.
And I was going to bring that up anyway. And Scott, I'll let you jump in here too. So did I hear right? The antelope season this year is kind of like that. You just get a tag and you can hunt whatever season you want. Is that how I understood that? Because I didn't go check it out. So do you guys have any info on that?
Well, I know I don't think it's changed since the past. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I know North Dakota is a little different than South Dakota. So South Dakota, they have archery. They do archery and then they close up the archery for the rifle hunters and then the archery opens again. North Dakota doesn't do that. That's just a different. I think if that's what you're talking about, Clay, I'm not sure.
Well, what I was wondering is, like I said, I should have just looked it up. I was wondering if you were only allowed to get, they just opened up all of the antelope areas again. And so are they just issuing one tag, meaning you don't have a chance to buy, say, an archery tag and a rifle tag. I'm not sure.
No, you only get one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And use it in whatever season you want.
Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, yeah. What they do is if you draw a tag, you can start hunting with a bow earlier in September and hunt through September, I believe, and
August
then the
30th.
gun season starts. Yeah, and then the gun season starts October
October 4th
7th or October 4th. Yeah. So then you can gun hunt with that same tag if you don't feel it with your bow. And that's what I did. I drew one. I think my last tag here was in 2017, and I went down early and I shot a nice Pope and Young bow, antelope with a bow, and I never got to the gun season, of course, because you feel your tag. But it used to be years ago when the populations were higher that you could buy the over-the-counter pronghorn tags, which was absolutely so much fun. You chase antelope during the daytime, and you'd hunt, deer in the evenings and mornings, and you still got your gun tags. But the populations were extremely higher than they are now, so they were able to do that.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of antelope in my area too, and I know I've had a couple people ask me. I've told them no because I have my own tag, and there's not that many out there. There's more than there's been. I think they let too many tags out in my area, honestly. But I don't make those decisions. I don't know, what are you seeing up in your area, Scott? And I guess what's your take on it?
Oh, I think it's going to be, we don't have a lot of antelope in this area. It's a little bit rough ground. We got a few in some of our flatter areas here, but, down in that Bowman, southern Slope County, Bowman County, all the way down, they definitely have some numbers down there, but I wouldn't say that there's any trophies up there, depending on what you think a trophy is in your own mind. But like size-wise for like a Pope and Young type of scoring, those aren't as readily available as they used to be.
Right.
They're still, I think the numbers are all right. I'm looking better than the mule deer and the whitetail after the last couple of years.
So this year in our area, which I've been shocked, I've seen more antelope than I've seen in probably 2 to 3 years. I was glad when they shut it down in our area because there just wasn't the numbers there. And I do believe it was good to have a season. I still think they give out too many tags, but I'm seeing that across the board. My whitetails are back after coming back from a horrible bout with EHD. That was what took them out. And my mule deer are looking pretty good. My birds are looking good, but we've had a ton of moisture in that area compared to a lot of places. Nothing like east when they get a lot of moisture, but for us, we've had a lot of moisture in that area. So I don't know. I just was kind of curious as to what your antelope were like. And I thought it was a one-tag system. Really, that's what that would be because you can use it in any system you want. Now we had a text come in. Says some compound bows have an IBO, which is foot-pounds per second, of 350, and that's crossbow speed. Should we ban those? I don't know what he's talking about there, but I thought I'd throw it to you guys.
No, and that's what I was kind of talking about before when I was discussing this. Is feet per second. They used to be compound bows. If you got into the mid 200s, holy cow, that was once they hit the 300 mark, people were just like, this is crazy fast. Now some of these bows are at least 350. I've even seen one advertise at 380 feet per second. That's moving and grooving out there. And that's what I was talking in when you just, Wayne, this too. I mean, you're a bow hunter. It's just crazy. These new, the technology now is just amazing.
Yeah, the technology is really, exponentially increased over the last several years. And I would be careful about what the manufacturers are telling you that these bows can shoot and what they actually shoot, because there's IBO and there's ABO or OBO or something like that, which they set them up in a draw of like so many inches, and the arrow is lightweight and it has no fletching on, and that's what they get their feet per second on. So if you take a 350 foot per second bow and you really put a hunting arrow on it, you get it set up, maybe you'll hit 300.
Right.
So you have to be careful of some of that, but those are still handheld. We have to think that is still a handheld mechanism that you have to hold and shoot with a hand, where a compound is not. Compound is of course, you just squeeze a trigger on it. So that's the difference as well. But
I think you're messing up compound with crossbow.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But technically, Wayne, you still got to handhold a crossbow.
Yeah, but you're not holding the tension. You're not holding,
Correct.
50 pounds or 60 pounds or whatever. So that's the piece. You still have to aim it.
Well,
there's no doubt.
And
Yeah.
I think that goes back when I listen, when I talk to archers, that gets into the whole thing with crossbows versus compound versus longbows and traditional. I mean, it's all a step up in technology that makes it better. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. Well, and talking about antelope before, I believe the drawing for antelope in North Dakota will be this week sometime, is my understanding. So
all right, we got to take a quick break, and then we'll come up with this last segment.
KFYR 550 with Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell. More coming up. Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by Sanford Health. You deserve exceptional health care no matter where you live. That's why Sanford Health is dedicated to providing quality care wherever your home may be. Here for all, here for good. Sanford Health.
Cure that hunger with a big Scotty burger at Scotty's, 21st and Broadway. Northern Region New Holland Dealers has a way to improve the health of your herd and your bottom line with a roll belt round baler. A recent study from Penn State College of Agricultural Sciences confirms New Holland roll belt round balers produce the industry's highest density round bales. The study also confirms higher density bales provide more available crude protein for your livestock and last up to 25 more hours before spoiling to reduce feed waste. Stop by Northern Region New Holland Dealers and learn firsthand about the benefits of roll belt round balers.
When it comes to buying or selling a home, everyone has a title. Some are fixer-upper fanatics. There are the square footage connoisseurs, round floor gurus, DIY devotees. At the Title Team, we make the closing process easy, no matter your title. Rooted here in the Midwest, we know our communities well. We're local experts on a first-name basis with our customers, but we prefer calling you a neighbor or partner. Visit thetitleteam.com and get to know us a little better.
We want you. Yes, you. Freedom Matters USA is looking for your help to help us decide which speakers to bring to North Dakota in 2024. Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point USA, Dinesh D'Souza, the filmmaker and best-selling author, Dan Bongino, Jimmy Fela, Riley Gaines, or any other speaker recommendation. Go to freedommattersusa.com right now. freedommattersusa.com. But hurry, we'll be announcing our 2024 speaker lineup soon. Vote today at freedommattersusa.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Kirkwood Ace Hardware. Summer is painting season, and we'd love to help you at Kirkwood Ace. Our premium Clark & Kensington paint from Ace is a customer favorite. Our Ace Royal provides a value price option, and we also are a Benjamin Moore dealer, America's greatest paint brand. You'll also find a great assortment of everything that you need to make that painting project turn out right. Great paint, great prices, and great paint advice, all at Kirkwood Ace Hardware, Bismarck's real hardware store.
It's another beautiful day at RK Electric Field, where the team always knocks it out of the park with dependable electrical service. From repairs to new wiring throughout North Dakota 24/7, RK Electric is your MVP with offices in Bismarck and Hazen. Oh, wait a minute. The manager is signaling for new players to join the lineup. If you're a skilled electrician ready to step up to the plate, join the RK All-Stars. Call 701-255-1864 today.
ABC Seamless. Better products, better installation, and a better warranty.
Don't miss our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, and you're having a good time.
Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio, let's go!
Get tickets now at AXS.com.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell is sponsored by the Western Dakota Energy Association, looking out for the economic and social interests of cities, counties, and school districts in the energy-producing region of our state, the oil, gas, and coal counties. Back to Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell on KFYR 550, 99.7, and iHeartRadio.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Dakota Mornings. We got one little segment left here, and we cut Wayne off again before we went into the breaks. I'm not used to that, Todd. I don't have to take them kind of breaks, but
yeah, this is real professional radio here,
go.
not that podcast stuff you guys do.
Well, real
radio over there.
Let's real quick, Wayne. Now, see, made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, go ahead, Wayne. Let's finish up on that thought here, and then let's see if we can wrap this baby up.
Okay, what was my thought? I guess I know we're talking about bows and such, and kind of stepping a little bit back. I'm going to trend to a different subject here a little bit. You had the song "Hungry Like a Wolf" before, just to. Let people know the Ranch America piece that we did both in North and South Dakota. So kudos to the South Dakota people, especially, Gene Cox, the mayor of Mobridge down there, his people at the ranch and their Fairgrounds Association. They gave us access to the fairgrounds for their the Indian relays, which is awesome. But we're also going back down there for a show called The Dead Meat, which is also on the Outdoor Channel. And it's about finding interesting people and making some of the ugliest critters taste delicious. The executive producer is a chef. So we're going down to shoot some prairie dogs and some rattlesnakes and maybe some pheasants. But if somebody in that area knows how to make prairie dog, please let me know, because I'm not sure if I'm going to partake in that meal. I don't think I'm not sure. So it's just food for thought. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
What do you think about that, Scott? I bet you have an opinion on that.
Well, I tried. Somebody dared me to try prairie dog one time, and I did, and it was absolutely disgusting. So I really highly recommend don't waste your time.
Well, if they taste anything like they smell,
yeah. No,
exactly.
That's all I can say, Wayne, is that's not a good choice.
Good. Thanks for the good advice. I'll take that for sure.
I'd try a lot of things, but I don't think prairie dog's one that you know what? There's just no reason for it. I'm good. I don't need to try prairie dog.
Yeah, exactly.
They're fun to eradicate.
So, they are. So the antler growth this year is great. I think the wet season has really helped it out a lot. The easy winter. The bucks coming out of the rut were able to get their weight back and put it back into their antlers when they started growing them. And I want to throw something out there to the listeners to see if they would watch this fall and this hunting season. If they see abnormal antlers, if they see some antler that is bad on one side, check the legs of the deer and see if a rear leg is injured. It usually has an impact on the opposite side antler. If it's a front leg that's injured, it's usually on the same side as the antler. EHD had some effect on the mule deer bucks that didn't die, and they had velvet through late in the year, even December. Sometimes they don't even lose their antlers, and then they grow antlers around it at the bases the following year, and they become this cactus buck type thing. So guys, keep an eye out for that. It's really would be interesting to see if anybody recognizes that this fall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't realize that illness like that would have that kind of effect. And I've seen a lot of deer last fall that still had velvet on them, going into hunting season, which I was surprised.
Yeah. Mule deer, especially if they get EHD, they'll survive more often than whitetails will. So the heat and the fever that they get into will cause their testicles to atrophy. Then they don't release the testosterone as they do, so they don't shed that velvet. So
okay.
Sounds like we're coming to the end of the show, and it's been great.
Well, Scott, we can hear you every Saturday right here at KFYR at 8 o'clock a.m. Central, 7 o'clock a.m. Mountain, and of course, Dakota Mornings every morning here at 9 to 11 Central Time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you coming on, and let's do it again sometime.
Coming up on the Monday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, looking at the polls from over the weekend and the Sunday